on our code of conduct, 10 days out of school suspension, and then we're also giving them, they go into what's called a tribunal, which is basically a court case for students, where it's being heard in front of three educators, and I'm a lawyer on that side, and then the parent will be on the other side as well. Now, I need you guys to understand also, when we get into that situation is to deem whether or not they broke the code of conduct. And that situation is to determine what the discipline extent is going to be. Okay? And then it's also that if I'm running a student to tribunal, I need you guys to understand this. I decide to give a kid 2 days of recess and we go to a tribunal, I'm pushing for that kid to not come back to JC Booth. Okay? It's not I've told your children this is the same thing. Okay? I do not want that child back to JC Booth this year. And it's going to be up to the tribunal panel, and there are a group of educators who've been going through the same things that I've been going through the last 2.5 weeks. And they understand the same pains their parents, just like you, who've been going through these threats and letters continually getting sent out. They're going through the same thing. So I need you guys to really understand that that's where my stance is on this. I told your children this, I'm telling you guys this too. That's my stance in this building. I'm not going to waver on that. Okay? And obviously, we have had situations where we couldn't find the person who wrote on the wall. But our children now know, and they will continue to know, because I'll continue to tell them, when we do find who did that, because they're just going to come out. The consequences are going to be the same thing that I keep telling you guys how to handle it. You threaten this building or threaten a student in this building. That's how we're going to handle it. Now, to that extent, I also, I need you guys to understand this, and I know this is a question too, I also get our SRO highly involved in the situation, okay? Our SRO, Mrs. Corley, Officer Corley, standing right up here, she gets involved in the investigation. And when she gets involved in the investigation, she is deciding the other side of things. I do the school side of things, she does the criminal side of things. And whatever she decides on the criminal side is 100% going to be in support of the Peachtree City Police Department. And so I need you guys to understand that what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I need to do for my school. And then Officer Corley, would you like to speak for just a second about what you do in that situation?
Thank you all for coming. So I do work very closely with our administration. I am actively involved in the investigation. After a thorough investigation, getting the facts, talking to witnesses, what did they see, what did they hear, do we have video of the incident? After I complete the investigation, I have to determine what law was broken. I also think and take into consideration the juvenile's age, background, history, all those, that's very pertinent information. Then I have to decide what law best fits the crime. If I'm torn or going back and forth, I do contact my lieutenant and kind of ask him to listen and just a sounding board. And yes, there are cases that I do pursue criminal charges when it must be done. Also, the severity of the incident is very important.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I want you to understand the Peachtree City Police Department has been working really, really hard with the school system on this. And they also see the importance of making sure that the school is safe and making sure that our students are safe every time they come in. So I appreciate all of our work they're putting into that as well. Let me talk quickly about threats and communication, because I did get a lot of questions on that. I need you guys to understand that when we get a situation, whether it be a writing on the wall or a bus incident that has occurred, we have to do a full investigation before we are able to send anything out to parents. We need to know the facts of the situation. And sometimes that can be time consuming. You guys all have middle schoolers. And so in this investigation, we're talking to middle schoolers. And these middle schoolers sometimes aren't telling us the truth. So sometimes they send us in different directions all over the school to try to gather the truth. And a lot of times, it is very, very time consuming. And within the three of us that handle those, what happens is a lot of times we get sent all the way down a rabbit hole that has nothing to do with the situation, always to come back to the initial piece as we're doing the investigation. So it can be time consuming. We try to send communication out as soon as we possibly can. Obviously, we would love to send it out immediately when it happens, but I don't want to send something out immediately and then have to come back and take that away and say, no, that's not really what happened, this is what happened. So we try very, very hard to get the facts, get it as quick as we possibly can, then work with the district office and have conversations with them about all the situation that's going on. So make sure that we have an accurate account, and they have an accurate account of everything going on, so that we get it right. Because the important thing for us is that we get it right, so that if we do have students who are doing things like threatening this school, we have everything in order to make sure that we go through the consequences I've just told you about. That's the most important thing for us. And I know it can be frustrating sometimes that you didn't get it right away, and that maybe you feel like your child is in danger because you didn't get it right away. But most of the time with those things, we have those children, and we have those children up front already that we're talking to. We're not sending them back to class if they're a part of a situation where there's an investigation. If you guys can understand that piece. So I'm sorry for the frustration, but we really want to get it right. Hopefully you guys can understand that as we move forward. And I can assure you that when you get a letter from us, we've gone through the full investigation, or we're continuing to investigate because we haven't found that person yet who did it. Whether it be a bathroom incident, the second we get it with a bathroom incident, we're going to send that home pretty soon. But if it's something that happened that we have to investigate, kids, I just need you guys. So please bear with me on that and do that. We just have to really figure out whether or not it's a valid situation. We spend a whole lot of time on it. Like I said before, we're trying to take all of it as serious as possible. I'm going to move into the last little topic, and that is going to be some of the other questions that I received along the way. And a lot of questions that I received are under the impression. A lot of questions that I received have to deal with what do we have in place to help kids who are struggling? What do we have in place to help kids who are coming into the building and are scared or are worried or things like that? What do we have in place? We really do have a strong counseling department here. I know every school has them, and we all have counselors, but our counselors can be readily available for our kids throughout the day, all day. There's not a time I have to go by that I don't see when I walk by these counselors that they're not there talking to kids. So what I urge you guys to do is that if the kid is struggling, is worried, or anything like that, sign up to see that counselor and have that conversation with them. We also have a support system here that's called SAS. That's Student Assistance Services. The county has invested a lot of money in our Student Assistance Services. And we have a assistant here who comes in regularly and works with our challenged kids. And generally speaking, what we do with the SAS is the SAS picks up any kid that over time the school system has kind of deemed that there's some things going on that they need to talk about. It doesn't mean that they're always troubled. It just means that maybe they just need a little extra support. And so that SAS talks to, right now we're close to up to 20 to 25 children in this building right now that SAS has a personal relationship with. Pulls them out of class sometimes. We'll have conversations with them, those types of things. The SAS has been involved in all of this. The SAS has also kind of helped support the counselors during this time period too, when we've been going through these things the last 2.5 weeks. We have some supports here that are very, very regularly available for our children to help with those things like mental health and stuff like that. And obviously, that is a concern for our parents. I know another concern that you guys have had, and I want to get this head on, is some of the tightening up that we've done in the bathrooms. And I know you guys have seen it kind of come. I've got a lot of questions about how we're handling the bathroom situation. One of the things that has happened is the hysteria that has come with some of the letters that have come on that happened in the bathrooms. because the bathrooms are areas where kids go in and there's no cameras there. There's not the ability for us to know how many kids were in that bathroom at this time before the kid actually wrote the thing. And so what happens is, even though we have a child who's courageous and brings it to us, sometimes that thing could have been there for a week before that. So we have to go back. It could be days to figure all those things out. And so when this last one came, we kind of tightened the rules a little bit in regards to the bathroom during transition time. And the reason why we did that is because when we went back to look at the video, we were having 8, 9 kids in the bathroom at the same time. And I can tell you, in a girls' bathroom, there's 4, 5 stalls. 8, 9 kids in the bathroom is not a recipe for good things. And so we felt like we needed to get a little bit of control over the bathrooms a little bit and figure out a plan and give us a game plan. And so obviously this is not sustainable, and we are looking at other methods that we can use to help our children make sure that everybody is going to the bathroom when they need to go to the bathroom and those things. And we're looking at it, and we're working, and I just want to make sure I get it right with the plan for the bathroom side of things. And we're getting right to the point where we're almost there. So I just need you guys to bear with me a little bit longer. Our teachers do have the authority. They're going to send your child in the bathroom if they need to go to the bathroom. I've told them that. So if the children are telling you that they're not getting the ability to do it, and maybe that they're only letting them out at a time, and maybe not letting them to the bathroom. But they're letting them out. And if they're not, and if it's one individual teacher, shoot me an email. Let me know. I'll talk to that teacher so that your child has the same abilities as everybody else is going to different classes. But we're working on it, and again, not everything we do is going to be 100% correct and right, but we're doing the best we can with what we have to make sure that our kids are safe and that we are stopping kids from making bad decisions in the bathroom. And that's really the reason why we did that, and to try to counteract that piece. And if you have ideas, like I said, I've spoken to so many parents, I've spoken to a lot of people, and had a lot of great emails that have come across that I've read. I've read almost all of them now. I got a couple of new ones that came in right before the meeting came. But I've read as many as I could read to try to get those information and get as much information as possible for you guys. And we're just trying to be proactive. So we want to continue to try to be proactive moving forward. And I have met with several parents where we've had great proactive talks about things we can do in the building that will help and make parents more comfortable about what's going on in the buildings. And hopefully we can implement it. This being one of them. Having a meeting here. We had parents who really wanted this, and obviously it was needed. So I appreciate it. I know there's been suggestions about things that we can do in the building in regards to the safety of the outside of the building and when children come in the morning. I want you to know that we are listening to those things like metal detectors, like airbags. We are listening. But we just need you guys to understand that that's a quick fix first and foremost. And when you put any type of fix like that in place, there's a lot of procedures that come with those types of things. And so the system really has to take a look at all of these things and not just chasing them. They need to look about what's best for the system as a whole and what they can do for that. And so although there are great suggestions and we want to continue to get these suggestions, please note that we're taking them all in, we're passing them to the right people so that they can make the best decision for our system at this point in time, at that point in time. That's just my personal belief on that. It's scary to me that I would have to feel like I need to send my child there. And that's me, but I obviously understand where you guys are coming from. We've had multiple threats in this building. We need this building to feel safe for our children. And so we will continue to take those ideas, and we'll continue to give them to the people we need to give them to, and hopefully we'll come up with ideas to be very proactive in the future. And that's all I really want to say is in regards to those things, because I got it as much as I possibly can with that. I appreciate those that have already kind of wanted to come in and also volunteer to help with anything we need around the building. I definitely appreciate that as you come through. We want faces that we want parents to feel like they can come into the school and see what we're doing on a daily basis and notice the instruction that's going on in this building and all the good things that that are happening. And that's really what I'd love for you guys to focus on. In closing, I would like to thank you guys, everyone for coming, first and foremost. JC will continue to do everything we can to keep this place safe. Everything we possibly can. And I will continue to work as hard as I can to keep it safe. I think it's really, really important for you guys to feel comfortable sending your kids to school every day. And if there are ideas and anything like that, I want us to have a partnership moving forward. And that partnership will be very beneficial to the system as a whole, not just the school, everyone. Your ideas are great ideas that we can use elsewhere. And so continue to do that, continue to drive that, and continue to ask questions, and continue to be somebody who can give me as much information as possible. Threats and any types of threats altogether, the only way we're going to counteract these things is through communication. It's for you guys to communicate with your children and tell them that about the severity of these things. It's for you guys to communicate your children to talk to you about things on social media and to talk to you about those things. And for you guys to communicate to the entire, to the staff at Jason Booth if they see something that makes them uncomfortable. That is my hopes for us to move forward, is that if we get these things, we're going to let you guys know, and we're going to communicate as quickly as possible. And hopefully you guys are going to get them communicated to us as soon as we possibly can. I want to take this time now to tell you that myself, the board members, Dr. Lombard, and also a few others are going to be around to take questions. If I did not answer any of your questions, or you have just specific questions to me, I will be here. I'm not going anywhere until I answer a parent question that they have. I would like to do that individually if they answer those questions. But we also have the support system here too with our police department and things like that. I want to end by passing this off to our PTO president and let her kind of close this out so she can kind of tell you what's going on with PTO. Thank you. It's Tiffany Osbeck.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming tonight. I just wanted to take a quick second and explain some things about the PTO. So I know you've all been getting the emails about our direct fund drive, and that is something that we do to help support the school. And coming to the PTO meetings, you'll hear us talk about ideas of what to do with our direct fund drive money. You kind of have to plan things a year in advance as far as what we're using the money for. But one of the ideas that we've talked about that we're going to be working on is bringing in someone like a mental health speaker or something to try to help to get to the root of some of these problems. And not just with threats, but just kids in general. These kids that are here now, when COVID first hit, they were in first, second, and third grade. So they missed some pretty important years there in elementary school that we didn't live here at the time, so I don't know how long you guys were out of school, but where we were out for a while. So I feel like they have missed a lot of instructional time and classroom time, and that it's kind of added to some anxiety for some of these kids that are here in middle school now. So just as PTO, we want to help support the staff, the teachers, the students, everybody here, and we want to make sure we're putting your money that you donate towards the PTO to good use and make sure we're the stewards of your money. So I just want to let y'all know that, and if you have any questions about anything with the PTO, we meet once a month. Our next meeting will be October 16th. It's on Wednesday at 10 a.m. We always have information on the sign out front. We have social media where we post information there too. So hopefully you can keep up with what we're doing, and we would love to have you at the meetings so we can hopefully try to do our best to help support the school and the students as much as we can. All right, thank you guys for coming, and thanks for listening.
We're all in there looking at something else. That meeting is adjourned. Thank you.